Are you an anime fan? Are you a Naruto fan? More specifically, are you an Itachi Uchiha fan? If so, stay tuned, guys.
Oh, I got a live one here.
Okay guys, so first off, I did not pick up this statue. This was actually a gift to me from my wife. So first off, thanks babe. So Itachi Uchiha, in case for those who don't know, he's a character from the anime Naruto, an anime that I absolutely love. Now, why do I have this statue? Or why, more specifically, why was it bought for me? Well, for me, Itachi is my absolute favorite character of the Naruto series. For those of you who don't know, I won't go into full detail about it, but he's portrayed as considered to be the best of his clan. He's basically faced with a choice of choosing his clan, his family, or the village that he serves. So he decides to actually save the village because he knows that an all-out war wouldn't be good. So one night he slaughters the entire clan, his family, including his parents. The only person he leaves alive is his brother Sasuke. Later in life, Sasuke grows up to hate him, and his whole purpose in life is just to one day meet up with Itachi and kill him. That is actually done, but not because he's better than Itachi. It's because Itachi let him, and there's reason why he let him. I won't go into it. Basically, ultimately, what it comes down to, his love for his brother was his top priority. He cared more about his brother than his own family or his own village. Everything that he did was because of the love of his brother. Anyway, guys, that's a brief description of Itachi, why I like him, why he's my favorite. So let's get to this review. All right, guys, so first off, let me just let you know right off the bat that since I don't collect anime statues, I'm really not familiar with the company or anything about where these statues were made. Well, this statue. So as you can see, here's the box. Let's start off with the box art, first of all, like always. The hard plastic covered inside. Now, other than the pictures, guys, as you can see, everything is in Japanese. Okay, so there's a picture of Itachi on the side right there. You know, there's some close-up pictures in the back of the box right there with some Japanese writing. Back has him with the crow on his arm. And yeah, that's the front. So very simple box, plastic box. Although it has a window here, guys, it has that plastic that encases the actual figure itself. So even if it's in the box itself, because of that plastic encasing the figure, you can't really see it. So obviously, I mean, it's a box that does its job, okay? Now, let's get to Itachi himself. Okay, so first off, guys, this is not polystone. This is actually plastic PVC is the best I can guess. It's not one piece either. You can see that there's pieces where it's put together. There's seam lines, for example, like on his coat, on his arms, top of his head. Even on the coat itself, it looks like, you know, very small, fine cracks in it where I guess they put it together like that. But those are very small seam lines. You can barely notice them, guys. The seam lines on the coat itself and on his head. The one on his head is the one that I guess it's the most noticeable and the most bothersome. But other than that, I mean, the seam lines on his arms, they fit, they go well. I mean, you can try to imagine them just as not seam lines so much, but just where the coat is, or the arms of the coat are stitched on. So anyway, moving on to the base, guys. The base is very simple. Plastic, probably PVC is, like I said. It's nothing special or dynamic. It shows the fires right here, guys. And the back, it actually shows a rock formation with what's called the fan, the symbol of the Uchiha clan, the clan themselves, like I mentioned before. And if I remember correctly, this is where the battle where Itachi and his brother Sasuke have their final battle where he dies. And the bottom has the flames. So one of his ability, guys, Itachi's abilities is he has, which is very common in anime, the eyes have power. He has a power where he can actually make these flames appear And apparently these flames are so hot they can actually burn through just about everything, including other sources of fire. Yeah, crazy, right? So that's also on the base, which I really enjoy. And again, all of it's plastic, guys. And I definitely do enjoy having PVC plastic figures because obviously they're more durable. You know, you're not so afraid of breaking them because they're plastic. I mean, they're not really going to break unless you really mishandle them. Going on to the figure itself, guys, the coat, I really love it. It's flowing very well. Now, as you can see, he has a lot of birds around him, more specifically crows. And that's another ability that Itachi has, guys. What he has ability to basically mess with your mind. His signature, I guess, move is these crows where he can actually, kind of like a vampire turning into a bunch of bats. He basically can do the same thing, except the difference is he turns into a bunch of crows. So there's been episodes where he's been attacked and there's nothing there. His body actually transforms into multiple crows that just scatter. And the crows themselves, I really do love what they did with these guys because it's not just a solid black. I don't know if you can see on the video, but I'll take pictures, post them. The crows actually have like this midnight metallic blue paint put on there. And I think that's a fabulous, awesome touch. I've never seen that done with basically any figures, any statues, anything like that. But I'm loving how they did that. I mean, it just really it kind of breaks up all the black because the coat itself and the crows and then even the flames right here, although they have those hints, those shades of pink in them, it's still a lot of black that dominates this figure as a whole, guys. And that metallic blue, midnight blue, what I'm guessing is the color, really breaks it up. Now moving on to his portrait himself, I mean, it catches him real well. The inner lining of his coat here is also red, but it's a metallic red, which I love because it really makes the figure pop even more. The portrait actually has obviously you can't see it from this distance, but it actually has his Sharingan active, which Itachi pretty much has his eyes, the red eyes, the Sharingan eyes, active almost the entire time, okay? That's a source of his power, by the way. Holding the crow on his arm. Now this crow actually comes off, guys. It's a peg that actually goes into his forearm. And you can kind of mess with it. Let me see if I can do it right here. Yeah, see, it kind of goes back and forth. So you can kind of mess with it a little bit. I wouldn't really try to mess with it too much. I'm just gonna leave it like this. Put it right here. I'm just gonna leave it like this. I mean, I'm fine with it just being on his arm. It's not really a peg that goes all the way in, so it's not really sturdy, but it holds it. It is not gonna fall. So what I see it from right here is, what I'm seeing is Itachi's looking straight at me, but he's also looking at the crow that's looking at a distance. So Itachi's looking at me, crow's looking that way. Okay, there you go. Okay, so yeah, I mean, that's the figure, guys. Let me give you my final reviews on it and let's see how I rate this guy. All right, guys, so before I give you my ratings on this guy, I always like to give you a very close-up shot of the statues that I review. So start off with his face. There's his portrait, the Sharingan, okay? There's a bird on his arm. See if I can get one. Let's see, this one's a good one. Okay, this is that metallic paint job I was telling you about, that blue, midnight blue color. I don't know what else I'm gonna call it. Okay, there's his coat. Okay, very done. Those little small crack or seam lines like I was talking about. And obviously the seam lines on his shoulders. There's the one on the head that I was speaking about earlier today. Okay, or in the review. Okay, there's the background, the stone with the fan, Uchiha symbol. And there are the flames that I was talking about that Itachi can make that are hotter than fire. And here at the base, it actually has, let's see, Uchiha Itachi. Okay. Very minor detail. His feet, his toes, they had her painted purple. Now I'm gonna see something, guys, because the thing about these guys, the Akatsuki. Let's see if I can get it in focus. No, that they wear these rings. Yeah, he actually has it. So great attention to detail. I mean, his hand back there, it's kind of off. You're not really going to notice it unless you're looking for it as I did right now. But yeah, they wear these rings, guys. All of them do. And they actually put it in there. So there's the crows again. Okay, there it is. So that's just my up close review, or actually up close imaging video of Itachi. Back it up a little bit. Give you a quick 360. Yeah, and as you can see, when the light hits those birds at a right angle, that midnight blue really comes out. Love it. All right, guys. So let me give you my final review. Let me give you my final score on this guy, okay? Thanks. All right, guys. So let me give you my final review and rating of this Itachi statue here. So execution, do I feel that they actually got Itachi and did him justice, really? Absolutely. You know, I mean, if you look at it, this base alone, I mean, although it's simple, you know, it actually has a stone in the back. And if you're familiar with the anime, this is his family heirloom. This is a prelude to him going to his death, honestly. So the base definitely captured. Also with it actually captures his abilities. Two of them actually, the flames and the birds that he can transform into essentially through illusions, honestly. They did capture his calm demeanor with the portrait here. So yeah, also his coat is definitely flowing in the wind. Not only is it flowing in the wind, guys, I mean, what's going on here is that he's slowly manifesting into the multiple crows that I mentioned earlier, which is one of his powers. So that's what's going on here too. Like, as you can see, one of the crows, this one on his coat, it's kind of like, it's not fully formed. And the reason why it's not fully formed is because it's emerging from his coat, you know. So definitely execution, I say. They captured him, did an excellent job of it, 10. Second, paint. Do I feel that the paint was done, the paint applications were done well? No bleedings. Yeah, I mean, there's some spots, I mean, especially right in front, where they kind of missed the mark a little bit. His coat is just a completely flat black. There's no shading. The only thing is the sculpt itself does provide those different shades, but I just wish that they would have provided some kind of elements of shading in this coat, you know, just to give it that layer, that depth, that, you know, the movements. I mean, the movements is there, but they felt that paint would have been done better. Also with the flames, guys, I know this is just plastic and it's just really, really dark. And now I understand that Itachi, when he produces the flames, they are black flames. So they did do that with the paints. I just wish that, I don't know, but it just been a little bit more dynamic. The rock itself, though, it's just one solid color. I mean, they could have done a little bit more shading there and, you know, give it a little bit more layers, more depths, more textures to it, you know, just with simple paints. So, you know, and then the bottom too is just the bottom, the base where he's standing on, it's the exact same colors, you know, just that one solid gray color. Okay, now I do give credit, you know, I'm just loving the paint job on the crows though. That metallic blue, that midnight blue is just looking phenomenal. So the paint, obviously not perfect, but I would give the paint, I'll give it a 7. Yeah, I think that's fair because they did do a great job, you know, with the birds. But everything, the flames here are done well. I just wish it would have done a little bit more. But other than that, I mean, the paint's done decently. Okay, so I'll definitely give it a 7. Next thing, craftsmanship. You know, do I feel that this quality? Well, like I said, guys, you know, here in the coat, I can see like little grooves, cracks. I don't know, what do you want to call it? If it's just pieced together that way, I really don't know. I'm not familiar with this company. Obviously, it's in Japanese. I don't know where it's from. But you know, yeah, obviously the seam lines, you know, I'm not a fan of that, especially the one on his head. That's the one that just bothers me the most, okay? The outer lining of the base, though, it's kind of just flat. You know, this Itachi Uchiha symbol right here in the front, it's, I mean, it just looks honestly like a little sticker. But again, this is just a small piece, small scale piece. Not really expecting too much, but yeah, I mean, it's done pretty well. So craftsmanship overall, I would also give it a 7, okay? Not done perfectly, not really something that I'm like, wow, like, this is definitely amazing and blows my mind. But yeah, I mean, next category, originality. Do I feel that the people who created this sat down and said, let's make something different. Let's do something that hasn't been done before. Let's really challenge ourselves to push this statue and make it amazing. Overall, I feel like it's a good statue because even though it's kind of simple, you know, obviously it portrays two, which I'm going to give credit for, two of his abilities, the flames and the birds. So originality, that's definitely good because a lot of times you just see him doing one of his abilities, but they did it with two here. Now, even though he's just standing simple, guys, this kind of goes back to his demeanor. And if you're not familiar, Itachi's one of those guys who, he never panics, he never hesitates, he's always calm, okay? And him, the way he's posed here, I think that definitely captures it. So originality, do I feel that they captured it? In some points, yeah, in some points, no, because, you know, this ultimately is, though, a museum pose, and although I prefer an action pose, it's still a good one, honestly. So originality, I'm gonna give Itachi here, I'll give him a 7 as well, okay? Now moving on to overall value, I really don't know what my wife paid for this guy, for Itachi here, but I will reference that we went to a local mall here and we saw this statue. So I can only assume that she bought it from the same vendor, and he was asking $140 for it, okay? Now, do I feel that this statue is worth $140? Yeah, honestly, I do feel it was definitely worth $140. And again, I always reference myself, you know, if I saw this, what would be the most I'd be willing to pay for this guy? And overall, based on everything that I've seen in person here, guys, you know, the craftsmanship, the originality, the paint, everything here, the value, I'd be willing to pay about $180 max for this guy. So with that said, I had to give the overall value of Itachi here a 10. I definitely think he's worth the pickup. I definitely think he's worth the $140. I wouldn't hesitate to get him. He's definitely an awesome character. And I'm trying not to be biased because, like I said, Itachi is one of my favorite characters, guys. He is my favorite Naruto character in the series. So, but I try to look at it objectively. Like, do I feel that the statue, not the character, but the statue itself is really worth that? And I honestly feel that, yeah, it definitely is, guys. If you do see this guy, have a chance to pick him up and you're an Itachi fan, don't hesitate because I myself enjoy it. So I would definitely recommend picking this statue up, guys. So that's my review on Itachi, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please share with anybody who you may know who might enjoy this content. Also, please leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you had to say about this guy, my review, my ratings, if you agree with it. If you don't, I'd love to hear what you have to say, guys. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. And until next time, thank you for watching.
You wanna know what to say? The narcissist, better watch yourself. You wanna know what